Hi, I'm Brock Christensen, and today I'll be presenting on whistleblowing. The first thing I want to go over are the three influences of whistleblowing that I've found. And Whistleblowing has an influence on certain federal protections, ethical responsibilities of managers, and the rewards that are offered to whistleblowers. There's been four main acts that have been passed as protections for whistleblowers. First is the Federal False Claims Act. It helps whistleblowers to report entities that are trying to defraud the United States government. It's been around since 1863, so it's been around for a long time. It was the first act that was created as some sort of whistleblower protection. The Informant Claims Program, which was passed only 4 years later, is mostly to help whistleblowers report businesses or individuals that are underreporting their tax liabilities and are trying to get away with tax evasion. That's another helpful whistleblower protection. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act is the third act that I want to bring up. It was passed in 2002. It is mostly known as a response to the Enron scandal, which is a very big scandal in the business world. However, it also did present a lot of protections towards whistleblowers and allowed a lot more whistleblowers to come forward with how that case unfolded. The final act, which was passed just last year, is the Dodd-Frank Act. It provides a lot of retaliation protections towards whistleblowers, and it also allows for more recovery of money and rewards. The most notably is that under the Dodd-Frank, you're allowed to recover 10 to 30% of the damages over $1 million. Whistleblowing has also had a big effect on ethical responsibility inside companies. Most noticeably, there's a change in ethical behavior. Managers are always constantly aware of that if they don't pay attention to their internal misconduct that's going on, that their employees could go to an outside source and report that and put the company in a lot of trouble. There's a corporate fear of corporations are worried that the number of whistleblowers is growing substantially and that they'll go outside the company just to increase their rewards. However, due to some studies that have happened recently, between 89 and 90% of people say that's not the case. They want to internally report the problem. They're only going to go outside the company if the problem is not taken care of. And I also threw in the toll of the decision. I think that a lot of people don't understand there's a lot of negative effects that can come with blowing the whistle, such as losing your job or relationships through retaliation. However, the main thing is any of the people that have suffered these negative consequences all insist that it was well worth their time because they stood by their personal ethics and their integrity, and they stuck to their moral code, and it paid off for them in the end. Whistleblowing has also had a big impact on the rewards that are presented to whistleblowers. Rewards are more or less used as an incentive to get whistleblowers to come forward and present any internal misconduct they might know. The type of the reward is different depending on the defense that's used. So depending on which protection or act that a person chooses to use as their defense will limit how much they're able to receive as a reward. And finally, is it good or is it bad? I think whistleblowing is definitely good. No doubt in my mind that whistleblowing is something you'd want to take part of. It not only does it help establish rewards and get people to come out and say things that need to be fixed within inside the company, but it also does a good job of establishing a trustworthy business atmosphere. And by establishing that trustworthy business atmosphere inside not only in the company but inside the business and accounting worlds, I think it helps a lot with being able to make things so that you can so that people can just rely in the business world and they always know that you're a company that can be trustworthy and that you don't have any internal problems. That's my presentation, and thanks for listening.